In this question, you will be asked to give your opinion about a familiar topic. After you hear the question, you will have 15 seconds to prepare your response and 45 seconds to speak. Do you agree or disagree with the following statement? It is easier to be a teacher than to be a student. Use details and examples to explain your answer.
Please prepare your answer after the beep. Please begin speaking after the beep.
In this question, you will read a short passage about a campus situation and then listen to a talk on the same topic. You will then answer a question using information from both the reading passage and the talk. After the question, you will have 30 seconds to prepare your response and 60 seconds to speak. Read a student letter printed in the Theater Department newsletter. You have 50 seconds to read the letter. Begin reading now. Now listen to two students discussing the letter.
Hey, Dan, what about this letter? You think it would help?
Oh, definitely. The problem is, student assistants have to work at other jobs to make money, so their real jobs always come first.
What do you mean?
I mean, like, one of my friends was working for a show last year as a production assistant, and he didn't show up for play rehearsal one night because his boss for his other job, his real job, told him he had to stay late at work. He had no choice.
So if he'd been paid to do the show,
Then he wouldn't have needed the other job. It wouldn't have gotten in the way because helping out with the play would have been his main job.
I guess that's true. But what about the training thing? Is that necessary?
Oh, absolutely. You know, the equipment that assistants have to operate now is a lot more complicated than it used to be. You really need to know what you're doing so you don't mess up.
Yeah, especially on the night of the performance.
But having someone professional show them what to do, you know, someone who knows all about the latest equipment, show them step by step how to work it.
I see what you mean.
Not only would their skills improve, but the plays would be better too.
The man expresses his opinion of the student's proposal. Briefly summarize the proposal, then state his opinion and explain the reasons he gives for holding that opinion.
Please prepare your answer after the beep. Please begin speaking after the beep.
In this question, you will read a short passage on an academic subject and then listen to a talk on the same topic. You will then answer a question using information from both the reading passage and the talk. After the question, you will have 30 seconds to prepare your response and 60 seconds to speak. Read a student letter printed in the Theater Department newsletter. You have 50 seconds to read the letter. Begin reading now. Now listen to part of a lecture on this topic in a psychology class.
I've used a version of this technique with my children. When my son Tommy was 8 years old, we moved here to Los Angeles. And when we first got here, Tommy was afraid to talk to the kids in the neighborhood. He was afraid they wouldn't accept him, that they wouldn't like him. Then one Saturday afternoon, I saw Tommy looking out the window, watching some kids riding their bikes outside. Now, Tommy had a bike he loved to ride, and I knew he really wanted to go out and play with those kids. So I said to him, "Tommy, want to walk down to the store and get some ice cream?" And of course he said, "Okay." Then I said, "And how about when we walk past those kids, let's just say hi, okay?" Well, he was a little reluctant, but he said, "Okay." So we walked to the store, and as we approached the kids, I gave Tommy a little nudge. And he very bravely said hi. And the kids all said hi back to him, and very friendly. And as we continued walking, I could see Tommy starting to relax. Then, on the way back from the store, I said to him, "How about this time, when we walk past the kids, you say something nice to them about their bikes?" He said, "Okay," and I could tell he was feeling a little more confident now. And this time, when we approached the kids, Tommy said to one of them, "That's a really cool bike. I bet you can go really fast on that." And the other boy's face lit up, and he said, "Yeah, watch." And he rode his bike as fast as he could. Well, we reached home, and a little while later, Tommy said to me, "Dad, I think I'm going to go outside and ride my bicycle." So he went out on his bike and rode up to the other kids, and they started talking. And by the end of the afternoon, he'd made several new friends.
Explain how the example from the lecture illustrates the technique of behavioral exposure.
Please prepare your answer after the beep. Please begin speaking after the beep.
In this question, you will listen to a short lecture. You will then be asked to summarize important information from the lecture. After you hear the question, you will have 20 seconds to prepare your response and 60 seconds to speak. Listen to part of a lecture in a biology class.
So let's continue the discussion on roosting, that is, the resting and sleeping behavior of winged animals. Today, we'll talk about roosting behavior in bats, which roost in large groups. Bats roost by hanging upside down with their feet above their heads from the roofs of caves, from trees, or from undersides of bridges. Their roosting behavior is actually quite important for their survival. How? Well, bats, like other animals, need to eat to survive. They feed on a variety of insects which they have to chase and catch in flight, so they must be ready to fly. However, unlike birds, bats are not able to launch themselves into the air. They can't take off from the ground. But remember that they roost in high places. They use their front claws to climb to a high place, like the roof of a cave, to roost. Because they hang upside down from high locations, they can easily start to fly by simply releasing their grip, letting go of whatever they were clinging to. Then they're immediately in the air, ready to chase, catch, and eat flying insects. In addition, roosting provides a way for bats to hide from danger. It protects them from predators. When bats are resting or sleeping, they can be easily attacked by predators like snakes and cats. Can they defend themselves against these attacks while sleeping? Well, no. This is where roosting helps. By hanging upside down so far above the ground, these predators, snakes and cats, can't reach and attack them, so the bats can rest and sleep safely.
Using examples from the lecture, explain 2 ways in which roosting is important for the survival of bats.
Please prepare your answer after the beep. Please begin speaking after the beep.